Welcome to Going Live with FC7. I'm Matthew Dowling, your host, alongside my co-host Dave Sosark. Dave, how are you today?
I'm good. Lucky episode number 7. It's been a fun ride so far.
Number 7. That's probably as lucky as number 13. I don't know if we're going to get there. I don't know. So, been a busy month.
It sure has.
There's been so much that has gone on in the month of July. Fayette County Fair.
It was a blast.
Had a good time. You know, I wait all year to get some of the food at the fair. What was your favorite thing you ate while you were there?
I gave this a plug on the last show, and I got to say again, New Salem Volunteer Fire Department knows how to cook a pulled pork sandwich. If you don't make it out to their hog roast every year, you always have a chance to get one of their sandwiches at the fair. And oftentimes they have some pretty good milkshakes to go along with those too.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. Lemonade. I found a little lemonade stand that was out there, fresh squeeze, put the sugar in there. I'm a diabetic, so it put me into a coma. The best lemonade I've probably had
my girlfriend's mom is a big fan of funnel cakes, and everywhere that I go, she says, "Hey, if there's funnel cakes, pick them up for me."
But funnel cake's never the same when you get it back home. Is funnel cake something you have to eat when it's hot, right, and you got to get the powdered sugar all over your face? I wonder if our house chef Mario, you think he'd make funnel cakes here for us one day?
You know, I think that we could at least try. It'd be worth a try.
Yeah.
He has something really good planned for us today. I don't know what it is, but it involves chickpeas.
That's what I understand. Maybe we'll be making a hummus.
Ooh. One of my favorites. I like a little bit of club crackers or even celery dipped in some hummus.
So the summer events aren't over yet. You know, we've had some good things that have happened so far. You know, big Independence Day. We did the Uniontown Mall. You and I were out in Connellsville, made some new friends out that direction.
Had a lot of fun.
Did the Fayette County Fair, which we were talking about at length. Did the dance event.
Yeah, Dance for Dreams for the
Story Square. That was a nice time.
Sure
and coming up this month, this is kind of going to pull, in my opinion, this is going to pull the summer festivities kind of to a little bit of a close.
It's a big one, though.
The Italian Fest.
Summer's going out with a bang with this Italian Festival this year. It's probably one of the biggest all-around events that Fayette County has ever seen. It's
going to be at the Fayette County Fair this year. You know, it had some romance, some ambiance in downtown Uniontown, but it was at capacity. You couldn't pass through the street. I'm kind of excited for those guys to have something at the fair. They've invited me out, and I'm going to be emceeing some of the events, and not sure which ones as of yet, but it's going to be a good time. And talk about food. Best Italian food.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it. I like the Sons of Italy's, what do they call it, the Giuseppe sandwich?
The Giuseppe,
oh,
yes,
man.
Absolutely.
Got a little bit of a kick to it.
Now, I'm Polish, so pierogies are my thing by nature, but you put some sauce on those and you call them a ravioli.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what I enjoy.
That's the trick.
There's a few people that make some good stuff. Marilyn Cellurel, who has Cellurel's Greenhouse, in previous years, I don't know about this year, she's made homemade gnocchi, homemade raviolis, some really good food, and she sets up a little booth. Her relation, I believe it's a nephew, Terry, is going to be on the show here in just a little bit.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking to Terry. He's going to tell us some of the things that, you know, in conjunction with the festival's new location, some of the things that's even bigger and better about this year's Italian Festival. It's going to blow previous years out of the water, I think.
Well, I think it's just about time to go to our opening performance today. Back by popular demand.
Solo acoustic performance today.
Joe Matarakowski. Joe, thanks for hanging in there with us throughout the Open. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Matarakowski.
I think I'm going home again tonight. I think I'm going back to make it right. I don't regret everywhere I've been, but I've had enough of remembering when. I think I'm going home again tonight. I think I'm gonna break away tonight. I think I'll break away to save my life. 'Cause break breaking out from where I've been could only help me to finally win. I think I'm gonna break away tonight. Too hard to ever show that I'm prepared to let it go. Will summer ever snow, and will I remain this time? Too much are all the lies, when apathy outweighs the prize. I can't forget the cries, oh, especially when they're mine. I think I'm gonna make a date tonight. I think I'll take the day to make it right. I don't know how I'm gonna make it when there's no one left here to show me in. I think I'm gonna make a date tonight.
We're back with Bob Junk joining us here today. You may remember him. He was on our program last month. Bob, you are the local economy manager with FAPEN Economic Development Council. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And you're going to talk to us a little bit today about the Buy Local Network, which is what we were talking about last month. So it's kind of a continued conversation, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Buy Local Network, and it goes on all the time. But the Fayette County Buy Local Network is a network made up of businesses and farmer markets to help consumers here in Fayette County spend their money locally, and to help support those local businesses and those small businesses that in return support the local communities. You know, we all know how valuable small businesses are. They're the ones usually that have the 4x8 sheets of plywood at a ball field, and how they actually really give back tremendously to support whether it's a church or a local or civic organization.
Our community television station here benefits a lot from small businesses, local businesses. You know, that's who supports our programming.
Right. And it's important that people look at, you know, it's always nice to go to a big box retailer because the variety and selection's all right there in front of you. But it's really important that I think that, especially now, you know, we're coming into summer's halfway's over with, and we're going into fall, and then we're coming into the holiday season, that when we're looking, we should at least take a look first to purchase your product from a local business before you purchase it from a big box.
So you've been with us before, and you obviously have some expertise in agriculture. Why don't we share with the viewers a little bit about why farming is so important to you? Do you have a background in agriculture?
Well, yeah, I was born and raised on a farm, and so agriculture is very, very dear to me. You know, I understand the value of what farming means to our society. We have to have food to survive, and farmers are the ones that are producing that food. And so, you know, you need fresh water and abundance of food in order to maintain a civilization. I always say, when you take a look at shelter and all these other things that you need, they're important. But if you don't have the proper nutrition, if you don't have fresh water, you just don't survive. And so, you know, agriculture and food, it's all tied together, and it's an important part of a building block of our community and our neighborhood.
So let's talk a little bit about the history of farming in Fayette County. I'm sure it existed before you were born on the farm.
way far. Yeah. But Fayette County has always been a large agricultural county. We have a lot of land. Now, today, when you take a look out in the neighborhoods and the communities and the rural areas, you know, you see a lot of farms, but sometimes they don't look like there's much going on the farms. But in the past, this has been always a huge dairy area, livestock, whether it's beef, cattle, sheep, There was a lot of sheep growers at one time here, also hogs. But as the industry has changed and the change to where we've had more centralized locations of feeding facilities and things like that, so has our agriculture here in Fayette County. We don't have as many fruits and vegetable growers as we once had, and that's part of our program, is to help try to bring some of that back, because we have still a lot of open farmland here in Fayette County. And so today we still have a tremendous amount of farmers that are producing, whether it's beef cattle and then selling them to the slaughter facilities or to the markets, or they'll do a cow-calf, meaning that they'll raise them up to about 6, 7 months old, and then they'll sell them to a producer that's going to put them on a feedlot and finish them out for the slaughterhouses. But then, you know, we have a number of dairy farmers still here selling, whether it's to our local dairy here, which is United Dairy, or, you know, there's other dairies in the western Pennsylvania area. We still have a lot of feed grain. When I say feed grain, farmers that are raising corn, wheat, soybeans, hay is a cash crop for a number of farmers here. So we still have a large amount of farmers that are doing that. And partly because that kind of a farming operation, they could still have a job off farm to help subsidize their income. So they can still be a farmer, but don't have to spend 8 hours a day managing those field crops, and they could still be able to subsidize their income from off the farm too.
So we talked a little bit about where farming came from in the area and where farming currently is. What would you say the biggest pressures or biggest challenges for farmers in Fayette County are right now?
Well, you know, there's a number of them. Agriculture, again, is constantly changing. And I think the biggest challenge that a lot of our farmers are facing right now is accessing markets. And when I say accessing markets, it's accessing the market of their raw product. A lot of them have to travel, you know, haul the product or travel the product a significant area, so there's additional cost in transportation to get that raw product to market. So we don't have a lot of, you know, we don't have a local packer in the immediate area. We have some small ones, but they're small, so they're not taking a large volume. Some of those challenges I think that a lot of our local farmers are facing right now is the fact that accessing those markets, getting their raw product to the market, and then, you know, some of our prices, which, you know, whether it's corn, wheat, or soybeans, even some dairy prices, they're not really controlled by the farmer at the farm gate. They're traded on the Wall Street, so there's a lot of speculation going on that plays into that. You know, right now we're in the middle of a major drought in the country. That's having a big play into the future markets, and so, I mean, even around here, we're not quite sure how the crops are going to really pan out at the end of the year because of the fact that, you know, they're still growing. But those are just some of the issues. I mean, I was past president of the Pennsylvania Farmers Union. I just became president again. And, you know, it's what we're facing here in Fayette County. We're facing the same issues across the state and across the country.
Last time you were with us, you mentioned a number that I guess doesn't surprise me, but it's kind of staggering. The amount of money when you purchase something off of a local farmer that stays local.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were given, what was that percentage?
It's roughly about 92%. Okay, that's if you go to the farmer. And for example, let's just say you go and buy a bale of straw for your dog in the wintertime, and you pay, let's say, $4 for that bale of straw. People don't understand that $4, it's not like going to a big box retailer or to a corporation that once you pay that money, the biggest part of that money goes into the corporation or to wherever. That money stays right here at home, all of it. Now, grant you, he or she's going to take it and buy seeds and stuff like that for next year. But when we take a look at what that means, you know, that farmer, he's paying property taxes here, he's paying all his taxes here, he's paying all his expenses to operate pretty much right here. We don't have a lot of local feed mills like we used to. Even feed stores are somewhat limited access to them. But a lot of times what happens is now, depending on the size of your farm, instead of now that farmer going to a feed mill getting his feed made, he's making it right there on the farm. So it's all being, again, reinvested right here in Fayette County. So those are important pieces that we got to remember. Now, we all, me or you, if somebody gave us wheat and says, hey, now turn it into flour, we may have a little bit of a challenge. So that's the reason why some of the things that we're looking at is how can we work with some of our local farmers and take certain type of products and start producing them or manufacturing them on a small scale, but right here in Fayette County. So those are some of the things that we're looking at trying to do, work with some of the local farmers.
Sure. We were talking a little bit before this episode started about the federal farm bill that is out there. And it might not be the, I guess, maybe the most entertaining or interesting thing, but it's important for our viewers to have a little bit of knowledge about the farm bill being out there.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I think a lot of citizens don't really realize, that when we talk about the farm bill is just not for farmers. There's 12 titles, and I'm not going to go through them all. We'll need an hour or 2 hours maybe to go through all the different titles. But there's, you know, and I'll just highlight them. There's energy, there's nutrition. So child nutrition, grant you, there's a whole separate bill that deals with the authorization of child nutrition programs. But when we start talking about nutrition, we're talking about the school lunch program. We're talking about the food stamp program. We're talking about the farmer market voucher program that I talked about the last show. All of those that directly impact the consumer fall under the Farm Bill. We also are rural development, water and sewage projects. Through rural development, there's also what they call community facility grant program that reaches out to fire departments, public libraries, schools that are trying to build new buildings or facilities. There's programs like that that impacts the schools and public facilities. There's the actual credit programs to help farmers. There's the actual farm programs. And that bill right now is being reauthorized. If we do not reauthorize a farm bill by the end of September, Farm Bill goes away, all farm programs go away. So that means not just farm programs, but all these other ones that I was talking about, energy, conservation, you name it, they all go away. And so it's really critical that we pay close attention to what's going on nationally with this Farm Bill, because it impacts every one of us who live here in Fayette County, one way or another.
So how can the normal citizen advocate on behalf of the farmer? What can people do to make the future of farming better in Fayette County?
Well, there's a couple of things, and I just want to draw. I brought this material with me today, just so that the average person and consumer, because we're all consumers, understand that when you go to a grocery store, and for example, a head of lettuce, that's roughly a 2-pound head of lettuce. Usually, it's around $2.89 for that head of lettuce. The actual farmer is only receiving 44 cents out of that head of lettuce. And so, you know, a lot of times I think when people go to the grocery store and they buy a box of cereal, they look at the price and they get this like, wow, who's making all this money? You know, for example, cereal, cornflakes, just a regular box of cornflakes, an 8-ounce box of or 18-ounce box of cornflakes. Now, these are all national averages, and I pulled this all off. This all come from USDA, so it's not my calculations, so it's not manipulated by me. But average retail across the country is about $4.19 for a box of cornflakes. You're going to love this one. The farmer, the actual farmer, receives 9 cents out of that box of cereal. So when we take a look at that cost of that cereal, you know, and this goes back to USDA statistics, 80 cents of every dollar spent by you, the consumer, on food, especially prepared food, 80 cents of it goes to marketing, processing, wholesaling, distributing, and retailing. Okay, Now, a lot of people say, well, retailing, well, that supermarket got to make something out of that deal too. So when we take a look at all of that, and you take that 80 cents and say, wow, 80 cents goes to do all this, that's the reason why it's very important that when we're taking a look at some of the programs that we talked about the last show about the farmer's market, how do we buy directly, that's what we're talking about, getting more dollars into that farmer's hands. So number one, he doesn't or she doesn't have to depend on an off-farm job to raise food for us, that we can, have our own life and do our own thing, that we don't have to be raising the food. But a pound of tomatoes, I'd like to throw this out, a pound of tomatoes average about $2.99, and the farmer receives 40 cents out of that pound of tomatoes. And I think the ironic one here is fresh carrots. Nobody has to do anything with it except maybe wash them and maybe put them in a bag. So a 5-pound of carrots, average retail price about $5.49 across the country. The farmer only received $1.36 out of it. And so it's really important that people realize, because I know I've been working with a couple farmers here in the past, and they have a beef co-op here, and they're selling frozen beef, trying to sell it here locally. According to the statistics, a top sirloin steak, 1 pound, average sale price is $8.49. The farmer only receives $1.98. Okay, so if now all of a sudden I could go to this farmer here locally, purchase the meat directly from him, that whole $8.49 goes directly to him, which is automatically reinvested back here in the community. I mean, economics, you look at it and you say to yourself, boom, this makes a lot of sense. And those are kind of things that we're hoping to bring back, because we as a community neighborhood, we used to go to the farmer and buy our stuff, and whether it's through the farmers markets or through local retailing. And so, looking at it locally, again, we're looking at how we can maybe create a food co-op to where we can work with these local farmers to bring it in, we can process it, and have it ready to sell back to the consumer. Going back to the Farm Bill, though, I was talking a lot here just as far as price as far as the relationship of price to the farmer, from the consumer to the farmer. What on a national basis, some of the serious challenges we're facing is, of course, balancing our federal budget. That has to happen no matter what, and everybody has to share in that cuts. But what's happened is, in the past, agriculture and the Farm Bill, through the appropriation process, has always taken a lot of hits. And so the number of representatives that are in Washington that really comes from an agricultural neighborhood or community or even a district is shrinking. And so what happens is agriculture's taken a lot more bigger hits as time has gone along. And so right now, where we're at in our budget process, is there some so-called fat to cut? Oh yeah, you betcha. But we need to make sure that it's done in a method that does not jeopardize our food supply. And why I'm saying that is, nationally, we have less than 30 days worth of reserves. As a powerful country that we are, and looked at as a world power, that is really bad. Because what happens is if that 30 days is gone, like we're into a drought right now, if our numbers come out the way that there's projecting, we could be looking at a 20% loss in crops across the country. If we look at that and then we say, okay, well, we'll just draw down on the reserves to make up the difference. Okay, what happens if this drought goes into next year? And so, where are we at? Are we then going to depend on somebody else to produce the food for us and so that we can feed our people? And those are things that I think we need to be really cautious about and look at how farm policy is created that could jeopardize our sovereignty as a nation in the future. Now, as a consumer or as an average person, the best thing that everyone could do right now is reach out to the congressman right now. Is Schuster is part of Fayette County, and also Mark Kritz is part of the county. Depending on who's your congressman, is to call them and urge them to pass a farm bill before the end of September. because what happens is a lot of programs go away because they don't have a baseline. And baseline means that they have funding to go into the next year. Because what they could do, and there's been talk about it, is that if they can't get it done before the end of the year, or before the end of the federal fiscal year, which is September 30th, what they'll do is they'll do an extension. If they do an extension, there's a number of programs, like I said, don't have baseline. They'll go away automatically. And a number of them are programs that will impact local farmers who want to produce food for local markets. So we have to be very careful on that because it could change the landscape over the next year until they get a bill passed. Where it's at right now is the Senate's passed their bill. The House Ag Committee has passed their bill, but it needs to go now to the House of Representatives for a floor vote. They probably won't be doing that till sometime here in September. With that doesn't give them a long time to conference because, House does their thing, Senate does their thing, and they have to come together and agree on a bill. So I urge everybody right now, it's in the House, to contact our congressmen and say, listen, let's get a farm bill done this year. Because if we don't, and let's just say we do authorize, outside of the programs going away, next year the projected budget numbers are supposed to even look a little worse, maybe. And I should say maybe because, we don't know really how things are going to go. We could be looking at another $10 to $15 billion of cuts that we would need to do in a farm bill.
Do you have a Buy Local card? Use your Buy Local card at any of our 6 farmers markets. Wednesdays, Brownsville Market Street parking lot. Thursdays, Uniontown Story Square. Fridays, Masontown at German Masontown Park and Scottdale Rite Aid parking lot. Saturdays, Connellsville West Crawford Avenue and Ohio Pal at Ohio Pal Stewart Volunteer Fire Department.
Savor the flavor of Fayette. Buy Local.
Thanks for staying with us on Going Live with FCTV. Joining me here on the couch this evening, we have Dave Drageson and Terry Salurel. We're going to talk a little bit about the Italian Festival. Is that right, guys?
Correct.
Exactly.
Exciting. It's an exciting event that's going to be happening here in the very near future. Brand new location. You guys kind of were busting at the seams in downtown Uniontown, from what I understand, and you've gone and found the Fayette County Fairgrounds. So you guys excited about the move? It allows you to do a lot more?
Exactly.
Very excited. It's a great venue, as you all know, being the fair there, of course, and we really didn't know what to do after downtown fell apart because the festival just grew so large, and the mayor and city council were afraid that it would just, cause a problem. We didn't want anybody to get hurt. Of course not. And the liability issues kept growing and growing, so that's how we ended up out at the fair. Luckily enough, we called Mr. Jackson, Bill Jackson, and he said, yeah, I have the date open, and that's how we got there. And
we were approaching well over 85,000 as far as attendance last year, and you know how the streets swelled as far as its magnitude is concerned, and we had to do something. We really did. And now, I believe with the fairgrounds, we've enrich the possibilities of more events, not necessarily larger events, which we have added, but more events and more stages. We were really stifled for where we could put dance school reviews, where we could put added entertainers and so on and so forth. What with the fairgrounds and the facilities that they have there, it's just a perfect match now.
So aside from a new location, what else is new this year? You said you got to add some things. On the way in, you said in the last couple of days since I talked to you last, you added a demolition derby.
He was there last night adding.
yeah, we were there last night with Bob Krauscher. He's doing the demolition derby, along with a lawnmower demolition derby.
Wow.
Which is really cool. And we were amazed last night. We were all out there talking with him, and we can't believe that those things that's actually here, and he can put all this stuff together. It's so cool. And beside the demolition derby, which you all want to be there, that's Saturday evening, you want to come and take a ride on the hot air balloon. We're bringing in a hot air balloon, and it's monstrous. And
it's not just like it goes up and down, right? You're taking actually a
no,
little bit of a ride.
it's just up and down.
Oh,
It's
it's up-
tethered.
okay, I see.
You have to have it that way because of insurances.
Got it.
But it'll go way up there, 1,500 to 2,700
Oh, my.
feet. So that should be really interesting. And tell him some other things that we brought this
Well,
year.
the important factor was we were looking for stages, or I should say extra little venue areas, and we've done that with utilizing some of the buildings, and we're going to have a stand-up comedian contest with Soul Joel Productions coming in from New York, along with little Miss Italy pageant, and we have the dance school reviews coming in. Frankie Capri has his own little venue and stage, along with the main stage area, which of course will house the bulk of our entertainers as far as those that we have brought in on a larger magnitude, I guess you'd want to say, like We Three, Next Generation, Chris Higbee, Scott Blasey from the Clarks, et cetera, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 24, 25, and 26, by the way.
Absolutely, and I'm looking over this program that you guys gave me to take a look at, and this is going to print here within the next couple of days.
Yes.
Being mailed out to a lot of people. 20,000
copies.
So this is going to be every place very soon. So if you haven't received one, look for one, maybe at your neighbor's house, and find a listing of everything that's going on, as well as some of the fine people and businesses that help support
Yes, and
the
thank you
festival.
to everybody who supported the program this year, and especially thank you to Cindy at Mark IV Printing. What a great job she did. She worked so hard on this program to make it perfect. And
the distribution of which will be drop-offs at a lot of the business locations,
oh yeah,
right?
5 counties and all of Morgantown that goes to. And there are so many things. He was touching on the things, the program, that's just one avenue. We've been advertising everywhere. We're trying to make this the biggest and best festival ever. I mean, we're looking, I'm hoping and praying for anywhere from 200,000-300,000 people this year. I think it will grow that large because of all the entertainment we're bringing. He didn't tell you about, we're having compliments of Southwestern GI, a grape stomping contest, which is a first. And the idea of that is, if you stomp the white grapes, you don't have purple feet. If you stomp the red grape grapes, you'll have purple feet. We want to see who will stomp the grape grapes. So, and whoever gets the most juice in a bottle at a certain amount of time, they win the prize. And it's something really cool. And another thing we brought up this year, we could not do downtown, is the best Italian dressed pet contest. So you can bring your pet and dress it up in all the red, white, and green Italian colors. And like you see our shirts here, this is the shirt this year for the festival. And bring your pet and we'll pick the winner.
I'm bringing a little organ grinder, and he's dressing up as my monkey.
Yeah.
So I was noticing as I look through here, even though there's a new venue, people may be a little bit confused about things like admission and parking, things you pay for when you go to the fair, but just because you're using the fairground, that doesn't mean that you're charging for those things. Parking's free, admission's free, entertainment's free.
The magic word,
correct?
free.
We're advocates of a 4-letter word, believe me.
Free, free, free. They put in the newspaper that we were charging. We're not charging for anything. There is no charge to get in. And it's it's there for everybody. The food vendors are coming. We have so many vendors this year. Lots of crafts and gifts and different ideas. People selling jams and fruits and vegetables and art and anything you can think of. We have.
What with the fact we had to change venue also made us think out of the box as far as marketing and advertising is concerned. We're doing things this year we haven't done in other locations too. We've never hit the greater Ohio Valley, which has a big Italo-American demographic area, along with, we always hoped that Clarksburg and Fairmont or Wheeling would come up. Well, all of a sudden, we're targeting those areas with various means, various media. We're not just sticking with radio and print like we had before, but we're going into various television venues and also church bulletins even. We've never tried that before. So we're into church bulletins and restaurant placemats, you name it. We're really trying to hit from Ligonier to Youngstown, Steubenville, Weirton, Wheeling, coming down into the southern part of below Morgantown, Clarksburg, Fairmont, and north of Pittsburgh into Butler. So we're really expanding the marketing and advertising angle of our approach.
You know, and a lot of people, they look at this festival, it had the name Uniontown on it before, it has Fayette County on it now. But Dave, we were talking earlier today, you have friends that have mentioned, where have they come up from?
Well, I lived in West Virginia for about 6 years, and folks down there, the Clarksburg Italian Festival, which I know is a great event, was you know, basically the place to go for Italian heritage and you know, an ethnic celebration. But I had some friends that came up from West Virginia last year for last year's festival, and they said, man, this is really on par, and aspects of it blew Clarksburg out of the water. So I think that even with this year getting bigger and better, Fayette County really needs to appreciate what these guys and their team have done. It's going to be a fantastic event, and I think we are going to see folks come in from all over.
Yeah. There will be an element, I'm sure, of
question. Is it going to be nice?
Yeah, that downtown Mediterranean cityscape camaraderie is going to be lost. There's no doubt about it. But we're going to turn things around for more of a rural Tuscany or mountain-esque sort of thing of rural Italy as opposed to cityscape. So we're hoping that the camaraderie can still hang in there and be a part of the true Italian Heritage Festival.
Well, and Terry, you and I were talking the other night, and I was kind of wondering, what will it look like? Will it be like walking to the fairgrounds? But I was so impressed by what you were telling me about landscapers. Why don't you share with us a little bit?
Yeah, we decided to get on the phone and start calling some landscapers, and anybody out there who's interested, we would love to have any landscaper out there who wants to landscape an area for us, and you can put your sign and your business cards up there and get yourself some good PR from the festival. But we have a good many right now who are coming in, doing an area, decorating it. Everything, when you walk in that festival, you will think you're in a different place. We are decorating every little place. I mean, we're even decorating the paved streets.
You go into the men's room, you'll see a pitchfork, a shovel, and a tomato.
Okay. That's what we brought him for.
That's what Dave's taking care of.
Yeah. But we have everything. We have artists coming to do art all over the pavement, on the buildings. We have fire companies coming with all their help. Morrell Fire Department and Monarch, they're coming and they're loaning us their trucks. We're going to put all the lights up everywhere. I mean, we're putting lights everywhere. It'll be so red, white, and green, and flags flying, and American flags flying, that you'll think you're in a different place.
We've enhanced the carnival, too, bringing in a very, very large
beautiful carnival. Yeah. And the car show. We're taking the car show and we're wrapping it around the festival this year. So it'll be a part of the festival. And Bill, thank God for Bill from Faco Rentals. He's bringing us round tables with red, white, and green Italian umbrellas, and they'll be decorated. Everything will be decorated. Where the bands are, you won't even believe it's the same place. You'll think you're in a different world.
3 o'clock Friday afternoon until midnight Friday, the 24th, and then we're opening at 10 Saturday morning for the registration of the cars for the car show until probably midnight. Chris Igby is going to close out the show after the fireworks at 10 o'clock. And then on Sunday, we'll open up with the outdoor mass, Italian mass at 10 o'clock. And Scott Blasey will close things out Sunday evening from 6 to 8 o'clock. That's, by the way, before Scott, we're going to lead up to his appearance with Mary Farrow with Tarantella lessons, along with We Three, the Next Generation, and the big 50-50 drawing. I mean, big 50-50.
Yeah, we're doing this 50-50. We started it about 3 weeks ago, and it's really interesting. If anybody out there is interested in buying some tickets, there's a $5 book, you get 6 tickets, a $10 book, you get 12 tickets, and a $20 book, you get 25 tickets. And we're trying to make the largest 50-50 ever. We hope to get it up to $20,000, $30,000.
We've earmarked Morrell and Monarch as far as our charities are concerned, along with we need to pay for the festival in order to keep it free.
Yeah.
You know, so that's basically why we're trying to raise the money. And sponsorship, of course, is appreciated.
Sponsors are great. Anybody out there that would like to sponsor us would love to have you.
Yeah, it's hard to have a festival of this magnitude, of course, with all the free items that we talked about. The admission, the entertainment, the parking, the venue. I mean, all those add up. So,
last year we had 45 minutes of our last show with We3 curtailed because of rain.
Yes.
And it exposed the equipment there at Story Square. Even though it's a beautiful venue, it exposed the equipment to water, and we can't have that as far as trying to grow this festival is concerned. One of the advantages at the fairgrounds is it's undercover.
If it rains, we've got you covered.
Sure, sure.
Absolutely.
that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll use that.
That's because there's a
cover.
A cover, yeah.
He always has this saying. I always tell him, I say, boy, it's hot in here, and he'll always say,
You know why, Terry?
why?
Because of the heat and temperature.
Yeah.
Master the obvious, we are.
But I wanted to tell you, too, the car show this year, we're having a monster burnout contest.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So they'll be able to come up there and smoke their tires off of their car.
Couldn't
if they
do that
want.
in town before.
Couldn't do that. Couldn't do, well, we are bringing bingo this year from Morrell Fire Department. We're bringing games of chance from Monarch and another fire department. That'll be in the building. My nephew, G, your buddy, will be selling cigars.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Get a cigar. And, of course, all of the Italian food from all of the great vendors, all of our Uniontown restaurants and restaurants from all over. We have people as far as Florida, that way south, and we have people as far as Cincinnati, Ohio, coming for food vendors and craft vendors from all over.
You know, to give you just a little bit of a hint as far as the caliber of entertainment is concerned, with We3 and the Next Generation, I was just telling Terry tonight, I talked with Lana DeSalvo, which is Vito DeSalvo, the originator of We3, just yesterday. They're not going to be able to make it. Vito has stepped out of the limelight and spotlight with We3. He's moving on because he has to direct Patricio out on the West Coast that weekend.
Huge.
That's huge.
But We3 will be here. The band will be here.
We3 will be here.
But without Vito.
Dominique Pasquini will certainly sing her operatic style of music and song.
Well, it seems like you have a lot of great things lined up. You know, maybe a little bit of a deeper question. Why do you guys feel that you're called, or why do you put so much time? I mean, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this event.
Free meatballs.
Free meatballs?
Yeah.
We love it. We really do.
Do you feel that it's important to keep this heritage alive?
It is.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
important to
it
keep
is.
something cool happening in Fayette County, too. You know, there are a lot of things, but there is nothing as far as we're concerned. And a lot of people, you yourself, you love it, and I know you love it.
Sure do.
And everybody out there loves it. It is a blast. And to see the families and to watch the kids and to see everybody take part in it and enjoy it and see people they haven't seen forever, that's what it's all about. And really and truly, we decided a long time ago we always wanted to do something really, really cool with the festival. We hoped it would grow and get bigger and stronger and make money and give money away and give things away, and we always wanted to do scholarships. So we always have that. When we start to make money with the festival, we want to do Fayette County scholarships. They'll stay right in our county. But those are the things we want to do, and we really enjoy it.
If you'd
It's a
like
lot
to
of fun.
find out more information about what we have, of course, you can visit our website at www.italianfestivalfayette.com. Okay? And the entire lineup of events, entertainment, scheduling, vendors, and so on and so forth is available for you to peruse at your
convenience.
convenience.
There we go.
That's a big word. He has a hard time with big words.
I know.
Hard C words I have trouble with.
So we have just a moment or so left before we have to move on with the show. Dave and I, we're opening up. We're talking about the Fayette County Fair, which just happened, and our favorite fair foods. And we started talking a little bit about our favorite Italian foods. I mentioned your relation, Marilyn. She makes some good food.
That's snarky.
Your favorite Italian foods, guys.
Mine?
Yeah, that you're going to find at the festival.
Probably gnocchis.
Gnocchis?
Yeah. I'm going to compete in the five 5K
Oh, we
walk
forgot to
run.
tell you that.
5K walk run contest before I eat the gnocchis.
Yeah,
I should
we
probably-
do. On Saturday
Yeah.
morning, we have a 5K. We're calling it the 5K meatball run and walk run, and that's 9 a.m. Saturday morning. And we're looking for a sponsor for that, and we're also looking for a sponsor for fireworks too. Anybody out there that would love to sponsor us?
Pirate Parrot's coming.
Yes, the Pirate Parrot.
That was just lined up last night too.
Yeah,
So as we proceed and take care of business, we're still lining up new business.
I like hot sausage.
Hot sausage. There you go. Well, hey, we look forward to it. We look forward to enjoying the festival and all the great foods, the entertainment, the free parking, free admission, free entertainment. A lot of great things that are there. We encourage everyone, all of our viewers, to stop out at the festival. Gentlemen, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you
with
for
us
the
here
opportunity.
today.
I'd like
Buona-
to have Luigi say goodbye. Say goodbye, Luigi.
Goodbye, Luigi. Buona salute, buona fortuna.
Do you have a Buy Local card? Use your Buy Local card at any of our 6 farmers markets. Wednesdays, Brownsville Market Street parking lot. Thursdays, Uniontown Story Square. Fridays, Masontown at German Masontown Park and Scottdale Rite Aid parking lot. Saturdays, Connellsville West Crawford Avenue and Ohio Pal at Ohio Pal Stewart Volunteer Fire Department.
Savor the flavor of Fayette. Buy local.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's nice to see you again. The last time I was here, Dave was doing the segment.
Dave hopped in and
Hey, he did a great job.
he did a nice
But
job.
We got another familiar face back in
We
the
like
area.
to keep you guessing who's going to be with you.
Yeah, keep it fresh. It's always
Did
fun.
you make it out to the fair? We were talking about the fair earlier in the show. It was last month we had someone on.
Yeah, I didn't make it to the fair. I was a
No?
little busy. I had some engagement. I wish I could have. I mean, I like to go there and kind of sample the food at all the different booths because it's a lot of fun. The chicken that you mentioned on the last show,
Good chicken.
oh, that's awesome. I usually get someone to bring me a takeout of that if I can't make it, but hey, next year, right?
So today is not something we could pick up at the fair. Something
No.
a little different.
A little different, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to stick with our with the sponsor of the show is.
Buy Local Network, the Farmers
Absolutely.
Market.
So we're going to stick with some veggies again, kind of drawing summer to a close, and then we'll start getting into more of the fallish type things.
Okay.
What we're going to make is, this actually comes from the Good, the Bad, the Cookbook. It's a grilled vegetable sandwich,
Okay.
but instead of using like a mayonnaise or condiment, we're going to actually make a roasted shallot hummus that goes on it, which is really cool because we're going to have leftover hummus, so we can actually use that. You can dip vegetables, pita chips, and it's a lot of fun. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start grilling my vegetables.
Okay.
So while they're grilling, we can make our hummus. So what I have here, I have some squash and zucchini.
Okay.
Okay, and I just cut them. You can probably get 2 or 3 sandwiches out of a squash and zucchini. We're going to put them in a bowl, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to them. Okay, it's going to help them hold the seasoning and so they don't stick to the grill. And then I'm going to hit them with, I have some Cajun seasoning. Now we don't want to go too crazy with it. We just want to give it an even coating. That way it gives it a little flavor, a little heat. And then we'll just give it a toss, just to make sure we get it all coated. Okay. And of course, I have my handy dandy grill over here, which is preheated.
Okay.
And we're just going to put our veggies on there, about medium-high heat. And these are going to take about 4 minutes on each side, depending on how thick you cut them, of course.
And because we oiled the vegetables, we don't have to spray the grill
No.
or wipe the grill
Right.
down with anything.
You
They're
can
going
if
right
you
on
want.
there.
It wouldn't hurt to spray it, but this is a non-stick grill. We oiled the vegetables. We're going to be fine there.
Okay.
So now we're going to take what's left here. I have some baby portobello mushrooms. Now they're just little guys,
Okay.
not creminis like I used when I stuffed mushrooms on the last episode, but these are babies, and I took the stem out, scraped the gills out with a spoon. So we'll add those in there. And I also have some red onions that I sliced, okay, about 1/4 of an inch thick. And if they come apart, these little segments of the onions, it's no big deal. So we can just piece them back together, especially after they're grilled when we put them on the sandwich. And we'll give these guys the same treatment as well. Okay, just a touch of oil. And I don't like to do everything all at once just because it kind of gets, I like to be ginger with it, I like to be a little easy with it instead of tossing it all and getting it all mishmashed and jumbled. This you can actually pay a little more attention to the food. Just give it a little spin. Okay, a little toss, and then now the mushrooms. same thing. They're going to take about the same 4 minutes on each side. And then our onions, as you can see, they come apart, no big deal. Actually come up here with these. It's a little warm up there. Okay, get them right on the grill. Go up to the top of my grill. And then I have a tomato. This is a Roma tomato or a plum tomato, okay? And I'm going to slice this guy in about 3 to 4 slices, depending on the size of the tomato, but we're going to slice it lengthwise. Okay? And these we're going to grill as well, but we're only going to grill these on one side.
Okay.
Because they're tomatoes. We don't want them to ooze out everywhere, you know. We're going to be gentle with them. So we'll just kind of, and we won't even have to add because we still have some of that leftover oil and seasoning in there. So we'll
Same
just give
basic
it
process though.
Yep.
You're using the same thing. Your oil.
Yeah, we're not going to waste. And then we'll go right on the grill with these little guys.
Now,
Okay.
variety of tomato make a big difference? Or?
Yes, size-wise, more so than anything. But Romas are a little sweeter. They're a little less acidic than their regular beefsteak tomato. I like heirlooms a lot, and they're in prime season right now. Well, actually, they're just coming out of season now. So if you're going to use those, you want to rush and grab them. But I like the Romas. They fit on the sandwich really nice because of their size, and they're, like I said, the taste is really, really good. So while those are going, I'm also going to throw our bread. This is our bread we're going to use. This is a 15 grain. Okay. So it's a little healthier for you. We're going to throw this on the grill. We just want to get we don't want to toast it too much because we don't want it to fall apart. We just want to get a little heat on it, get some grill marks on it. 'Cause who doesn't like toast, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So while those guys are over there working, we're going to work on our hummus.
Okay.
Now I always get crucified when I do this because yes, it's hummus, and yes, I don't use tahini in my hummus. Traditionally, there's always tahini in it, but it's my book. I have poetic license. If
So
wanna
you do what you want.
Right. If you want to use tahini, you can write your own book and use tahini. So I'm going to use roasted shallots in my hummus, okay? I have some chickpeas here, or garbanzo beans. You just learned about those today before the show.
I did. I was asking all kind of questions about.
Do you want
garbanzo
to taste
beans.
one raw before I put? Well, it's not raw; it's cooked. But
Do you mind if I read?
taste one?
There we go. Okay.
Okay, these are from a can, and it just makes life easier. And I also kept half the liquid. So we're going to add these right into our food processor. And the reason I kept half, what do you think, by the way?
Not a bad flavor.
Not much flavor.
Not much flavor.
Right.
It seems like it'd be a good host for whatever you're putting
Absolutely.
with it.
And like I said, I'm going to keep half the liquid from the can just because I don't want it to be soupy. So I got rid of half. But I want it to have some liquid in it to give it that creamy, hummusy texture. So I'm just going to, I have some roasted shallots here. What I did was I took shallots, peeled them, tossed them with olive oil, a little salt and black pepper, put them in the oven. About 250 degrees. It took about an hour and a half. Okay, really slow, really caramelized. That way you get the sugars and really nice sweetness. Shallots are in the onion family, of course, but they're smaller and they're sweeter. So you can use onions if you like onions, but you'll be able to taste the difference once you taste this between a shallot and an onion.
So is this something I could have roasted these? They'll stay for a couple days
Absolutely,
in
yeah.
the refrigerator?
These will stay. If you put them in a Ziploc, they'll last 3 to 4 days
Okay.
in a Ziploc bag in your fridge after they cool down when you pull them out of the oven. So we'll throw those in there, and then we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to this.
Okay.
That's going to help it too.
That's texture or bonding?
It's going to help it. Yeah, it's going to help it puree. It's going to give it a nice texture. It's going to give it a richness.
Okay.
Because you tasted the chickpea, there's not much flavor there.
Sure.
So we want to get a little richness from the olive oil, and then of course we're going to season it.
Okay.
Salt. Okay. And some fresh cracked black pepper.
Okay.
And now I'm going to put you on hummus duty because
Hummus duty? Am I
Yeah.
going to...
you're going to push the buttons.
Okay.
Go back and forth between chop and grind, get it nice and pureed. Okay. And while you do that, I'm going to go over here and flip these puppies over.
Going to the other side now, huh?
Oh, I like the flip-flop. So we're just going to get these flipped. How's it coming over there? You can see our bread's nice and marked, not too much. How's our hummus looking?
It's getting creamy here.
Okay.
What kind of texture am I looking for here?
Kind of like a mayonnaise.
I'm dealing with something...
like it's...
I still got some pieces, so you want me to go a little more,
yeah.
I'm guessing.
You can add
okay.
a little more olive oil. Or
A little more?
oil.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you can just go ahead and give her a buzz. We're looking... It's hummus is a dip. So you want that kind of dip consistency, you know, if you think about something that you're going to dip a chip into or something. But like I said, we're using it on this sandwich. Man, those onions are nice. I love grilled onions. We're using it on this sandwich as the condiment because there's a lot more protein in the chickpea and a lot less fat. Even though we're adding some fat with the olive oil, it's still an unsaturated fat. So it's going to be better for you than any mayonnaise you can get off the shelf.
Okay. Okay, I think I got this.
I think we're there.
Right about where you wanted, Chef.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So what I'm going to do now is we'll put it back in our bowl. Get it out of here. You want to just move that off to the side for me? I appreciate that. Thank you.
Get that right out of the way.
And you can see the consistency. It's kind of like a dip.
Okay.
Okay. And that's going to work really nice with our sandwich, which our vegetables are very close to being done, so we're going to start to build it. Okay. Get that over there out of the way. And, you want to taste that?
Sure, you got a little spoon?
Better.
Ah, the chip, okay.
Let me know if it's seasoned okay.
Very good.
Does it need salt?
I think it's solid.
Good? Okay. So now
Just
what we'll do is, we've got our bread here, right? It just came off the grill, so it's warm. So
There's
what
some
I'm
nice sear marks on that side.
What I'm going to do, and this goes a little against traditional thinking, but I have some pepper jack cheese.
So you're going against the grain with a 13-grain bread.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Oh man, I miss your monologues.
I know.
So we're gonna put our cheese down. We have that's a hot pepper cheese. That way it's pepper jack. It's got a little heat to it, and I put that right on the bread because the bread's still warm, and I don't want it to melt the cheese, but it's gonna kind of temper it and make it a little gooey. And then I'm gonna add our hummus. Okay, to each side of this. Just
each side's getting some love.
Oh
not
yeah.
Just one. Okay.
Oh no, we're equal opportunity here. We love them all.
Okay.
We're like the good Lord. We love them all, right? That's what my grandmother always tells me.
Smart lady there.
Oh, she is.
Okay.
Okay, so we got our hummus on there. That's really happy. Okay. So there, hummus.
Okay.
Check.
Very nice.
Next, veggies.
Veggies.
We're gonna pull. Oh, you love veggies. Tell us about veggies. Tell us about
your
your experience with veggies.
I'm kind of like on this journey to veggie eating.
Okay.
When we started a few episodes ago,
Dave's cracking up in the corner.
I hear him. I hear. Several episodes ago when we started, I was always hesitant to go to the veggie platter. But I'm learning a little bit, experiencing a little more, and I really like it. That may be an opportunity for a future book for you. You could talk about one man's veggie journey.
Making you a veggie lover.
Yes.
Talk about going to the other side, huh?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. So we got our onions here. I love grilled onions. One of my favorites, especially with like a big steak. But we're not doing steak today. We're doing veggies.
See,
so
now
you gotta reel me in.
Onions are a vegetable that really surprised me because there are so many different varieties that have kind of a, they're all in the onion family, but have a really different flavor.
Yeah.
Whether you're sweet or,
Then you have green onions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's all our veggies. Now here's the tricky part. We need to build this.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, there's no real set method to this. It's however it's going to fit. Okay. It's like playing with Legos when you were a kid. Can you see what I'm doing here? Do I need to move anything? Or are we good? Okay. So we're going to start with our zucchini and squash.
Okay.
Okay.
They look happy right there.
Oh, they make me happy.
Okay. We alternated those a little bit. This is going to be like one of those big sandwiches. This is like a Garfield the Cat kind of sandwich.
Yeah. We're going to go with our onions next.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, there's no real rhyme or reason to the way. Just make sure it all fits and it looks nice, and because it's going to taste good. Then we got our mushrooms here, our little portobellos. I'm going to flip them over. We'll just grab them. They're a little warm, so we'll grab them like that. Okay, and you can use regular size if you want. I like the little ones because I think they fit a little better. Then we got some of these nice tomatoes. Look at those nice grill marks on there.
Oh my.
Okay, wonderful. Wow, what the heck? We'll put all three, huh?
There we go.
Okay. So, at this point, we're going to take this little half here. Oh. Get that out of the way. We'll save this for later. It's my snack. And then
So,
we'll just
a healthy sandwich, I would imagine.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, just the
Yeah.
olive oil, which isn't
It's
that
all
bad
veggies.
for you. All
you can
veggies.
take a look at the inside of that if you want. And then what I like to serve with this,
Okay.
and I gave you one earlier,
Is the
are
pita
these
chips?
pita chips, only because
We can also put our...
exactly. Take our extra hummus.
Oh,
a
would
little-
you like that?
That's okay, yeah.
Sorry, Chef.
Like a little container like this.
There we
We'll
go.
add some hummus so we can share.
There we go.
And there you have it. Some chips and hummus. You got your sandwich. Go ahead, try it, if you don't mind.
Mind if I take one more
Yeah,
cut? That's
go
a big
for it.
piece. Big piece.
There's veggies there.
That's a good sandwich.
Would you eat that?
I would eat that.
Seriously, with vegetables?
Absolutely.